demolish DK.
Let's go.
Because they just have a mental advantage over
Diesmal bestimmt
like
winning für DK.
They are moving to 5-0 in the matchup as far as the last couple of best of fives are concerned.
Isn't it crazy that we talk about the play, individual play, the Blitzcrank wasn't great, but they gave Owner both the Xinjiao, which again in this meta, that is going to happen, right? But also the Pantheon. They gave him that. And then he was like, well, guess I'll win.
Well, I mean, the priority picks have been just kind of absurd. The T1 have been able to get their hands on it. And the Pantheon can really warp games regardless of what he's with. The Rumble is a very similar thing, and T1 got both of those both times. Second game, they managed to well, that has been a very coveted pick. As D+ are going to ban away Nautilus. I think this makes me Smash wants to play a hyper carry, and I want to see that as well. He's been on Ezreal and Ashe duty so far, and I feel like the release date's really been holding him back as far as those two champions are concerned.
They did go first pick. I don't know if you want to first pick Lucian, if that's the way they want to play this, or go for a more late game scaling carry like you're talking about. Nautilus definitely much stronger into the Yunara and the Zeri, which are both fearlessly banned here. Yeah. And now the Lulu is gone, which could have been a pick to empower some of the remaining carries like Aphelios or Jinx in that bottom lane. I think that's a really smart ban from T1.
And
our big prio mid lane picks are gone. Orianna, Ryze.
Corki ist offen, ne?
So maybe Aurora first pick with the flexibility it has could be where we're going here as D+.
Yeah, we have seen that before from them. Let's see what they do want to do. Hovering over Showmaker for now, but we're really waiting until the... Okay, we're just going to remake the draft. Not entirely sure why. Something may...
Is Corki first pick?
But we're going to be diving back into it. Thankfully, we didn't have a lot that was already locked in, so it's going to take us a little bit of a shorter amount of time to get back into the draft.
Yeah, just looking at the players' faces, like this is completely my speculation. It looked like before that draft went down, like the draft had crashed. It wasn't like they ran out of time or anything like that. Doesn't look like the case. They had stopped talking about the draft, so they may have made a decision. We'll find out what that decision is, but either way, like you said, we'll have to have those bans remade in the same way to make sure the game is preserved the way that it should be, and move into that first pick for D+. I think the Aurora is, again, the most likely pick because it's both flexible, top lane, and it's a great pick for Xiu. He's had a lot of success on it in the past, and it is one of the top-tier mid laners that's left. Also, Faker enjoys it quite a bit, even though he didn't win on it last time against B&K, so feels like a strong pick all around. And you don't necessarily need to show your hand for the bottom lane just yet.
Ah, so they wrong banned. So I believe maybe the Lulu was a misban. Yeah, Lulu was a misban. So
I actually kind of like the Lulu ban.
I didn't mind it either. However, Lulu not often picked in the first round of bans. Sorry, the first round of picks. So maybe that's what should have clued us in there a little bit.
Could have been that.
I didn't mind it.
I'm thinking about picks they could be thinking of instead, and like
Lucian.
Lucian is the one that comes to mind, right? If they would misclick that there and we're typing that Lu in, that certainly could have been what was being considered, because that was the other first pick I thought about. We saw Diablo get a ton of value out of the first pick Lucian against T1, and he was empowered by the Milio there and had a great game. Pays did not, unfortunately, on the T1 side, but I wonder if that's what we'll see instead, but these bans will be repeated with the exception of the Lulu.
Yep. So Bard, Varus, Nocturne, Vi going to be coming through first, and then we're going to see Nautilus into probably Lucian, I guess. Just because that is right next to the Lulu button. But we'll see what does actually get locked away. I've already crossed out the Lulu on my little sheet.
So...
they wanted to ban Mundo. Obviously, the other champion that starts with Lulu.
Aurora, Corki gefällt mir. Corki ist auch offen.
Corki
Nami.
Exclusively played recently with the Seraphine.
Oder Lucian Nami oder sowas, ne? Wenn jetzt Corki first bekommen würde, ein besser.
Lulu. Instead, the Ambassador is going to be coming
up
this ban throughout most of the tournament. Most of the series. And so Xiu will get his hands on it, or Lucid will. And I think that Lucid
take that away from the Ambessa, and get the Lulu lane.
This is the third time that Pays is just on a hyper carry that he can carry the game on by himself. And I love it. It's exactly what's been working here for T1.
It's how T1 won Kespa Cup.
From it, yeah.
You know, like, we walked out of Kespa Cup being like, Okay, Peas is back in a big way. He hasn't even really practiced with his team yet, and he's having flashy individual plays. And he is going to have a Lulu in his lane here now, and
we
is
need
it just
like
Jinx Thresh as a return here?
Yeah, it's either Lucian Nami or it's like Corki Nami or something like that if they want to be able to stand any sort of chance into this. But I still think that, yes, Lucian is better in the early to mid game.
He's Corki Nami to AP das Lulu. Well, auch Level 3 spikest du. Du bist halt, I mean, honestly, wahrscheinlich fein einfach. Einfach fein. Corki Nami scaled so hart. Ballon und Himmel gebannt, waren Missbann. Oder Remake die Lobby.
They can protect it in the second ban phase, so it's not that risky, and it's one of the strongest picks on the patch, and just shutting down a single target.
Ja, also halt den Topländer Bann. Kenny.
Make you feel a little bit tankier.
And if you just get on top of the Lucian and set him and get a wild growth on top of the Lucian.
Was für ein Plus da das immer als zweites nochmal du. Ich habe keine Ahnung, welche Seite am Endeffekt besser ist. Aber es ist halt besser, dass nicht eine Seite Blue und First Pick hat. Also einfach fairer. So, ist halt einfach fairer.
One of our big bruiser champs that is just so difficult to deal with in sides, and like Renekton in the past, he gets to a certain point, you're like, okay, we can deal with him now. But he doesn't really hit that break point anymore. So the Aurora will be banned by T1 here instead with this setup.
I don't mind it.
Shocker.
Faker hasn't been having a whole lot of fun with Aurora more recently, so it's not really too detrimental for T1 to ban that one away. And now a couple of bans to come through here for D+. They are making sure that they take as long as they can, but it will be the Wukong eventually.
Oh, what cannon?
Actually really like that, the bouncy castle that you can get with
Wukong,
wild growth.
Yeah, very annoying. See what they decide to ban here. Could just be a Gnar ban. And take that away.
Also ja, Cannon.
If they're afraid of this Bessa being the
Nahband sich auch, aber
to the Renekton coming through.
durch Major Regions 11-22.
Idea. Okay, they choose the Gnar. That makes sense. The Cannon could still be a threat, but getting the Cannon to a place to get on top of this Aphelios is easier said than done, especially with how these games have been looking.
Sejuani, interesting.
It's an old owner favorite and works well with the Renekton setup topside. But,
is it Nidalee? We saw it yesterday, and it was kind of fun. Instead, Twisted Fate here for Faker. It's been quite a while since we've...
Silas offen, aber Silas ist nicht so gut hier.
He did certainly used to be a big fan, and
Geht Mel?
it away from Showmaker. This has been something that Showmaker has lent on largely in...
So, es ist 11 Uhr.
To get towards
Mob.
the TF game.
Aktion ist live. 20% auf alles, 40% auf Proben. Also wenn ihr testen wolltet, hier geht durch die Proben durch. Ich kann es euch ans Herz legen. Ob ihr jetzt Matcha Latte oder einen Ice Coffee oder einfach normal Whey probieren wollt. Macht. Mit meinem Code OPSI. Ja. Probiert es.
And oh man,
this has to be jungle Jax, right?
Like, but this is an incredible Jax angle. Like, as far as the Jax angles are concerned, the counter-strike value, Ruthless Predator, and the gold card both being entirely mitigated.
If you go Jax into the Renekton, then you can have... Okay.
Und wenn ihr was bestellt, dann nehmt beim Giveaway teil im Discord.
There's like 5 seconds left and you're flipping through these three.
Könnt 50 € gewinnen an Waren.
It makes some sense.
Ihr selbst was wegen könnt.
Quite like it just because, okay, that is the Kha'Zix. So we saw Kha'Zix get banned yesterday.
Okay.
Canyon did not want to see it, so it's obviously something that's been lurking around scrims. But owner is
ja,
pick it up.
mit Serpent's Fang Second, ja.
I swear, was Canyon picking it into
Poste doch mal deinen
Was it into owner?
Link nach dem NDC-Shirt-Safe, oder?
It was a successful pick.
Ja, Käfer gegen Ambusi. Serpent's Fang value is here insane.
It was a Xin Zhao. I just don't remember. I don't know why I'm thinking of Peanut, but you're going to find the answer.
I'm often thinking about Peanut as well.
But like, this pick burst down the Lucian.
Olaf Engel ist okay, aber ich glaube, dass Aphelios zu viel Damage hat einfach.
We're trying to kill Smash. We're trying to burst him, and it has a lot of mobility. With the jump, the Kha'Zix can then be a wild growth extender and setup to then kill the Lucian, right? And there's a lot of damage. The isolation is going to be very powerful as well. He can do objectives quite quickly, Dragon very quickly, as Kha'Zix has done in the past. And they have great single target blow up in this draft. You hit the Lucian with a gold card, you follow up with the Kha'Zix, you follow up with the Renekton. Same with Ari. She gets caught. She does not last very long.
Ja, genau. Ich denke nämlich auch, dass der AP das zu viel Damage macht. Mal sehen.
Very much looking forward to seeing how this one's going to go, especially this Kazakh's jump.
Mal sehen.
Let's get another riff for game number 3.
Anscheinend hat Owner eine insane Winrate in Solo-Queue, warte. 86% Winrate, 14 Games. Und der fistet it. Wow, er spammt ihn. What's that?
Yeah, Lulu lanes
Ja.
usually get to walk up and pay
Jesus Christ.
with his Calibrum. So he's just gonna, you know, hold spacebar and look to see if
Mit
anyone
Amberglaive. Ergibt Sinn.
As, at this point,
Anscheinend soll er aber auch Top-Tier sein, ist ein OP-Amberglaive-Abuser. Ist ein Defense First Angle Fan besser, wenn er das machen würde, ja.
Yeah, ebb and flow working out
Ja.
here, as Smash really wanted to find that light slinger but could not. That'll be okay. Mbessa versus Kazakhs. Haven't really seen that one before. Also taken the first strike as Shiu just doing some Shiu things. We know that he really likes this Olaf lock-in. We've seen Kingen play it so far this season in the LCK Cup.
we've seen Zeus play it a lot in the past.
Heißt nachher auf den Käfer.
Pick that if you need to get on top of somebody,
Wer weiß.
and there's a lot of annoying CC in the way, can allow you to do just that.
It
You
is
can
like,
see-
it's one of the OG stat check champions as well. You know, like, you just kind of run at them and either you'll die or kill them. And that is just sort of Olaf in a nutshell.
It's kind of designed that way. It is a very fun champion to play when you are ahead.
Very
It's less fun when you're behind and the Aphelios has 3 items.
Ich meine, es ist ein guter Olaf-Engel. Ich glaube halt nur, dass T1 zu viel Damage hat.
So are we finally going to get that Smash versus Pays game where Pays, you know, it has a Lulu with them, right? He's set up for success, but Smash still has a lot of agency. Like, that's my dream scenario here for this third game, is that we see Smash have some really cool angles. He finally gets some outplay opportunities. He's not so far behind that he just can't play the game. Like game 2 on the Ezreal where everything is on fire and he's like, well, I don't even know what the plan is here for me. I really can't offer anything for you guys. He got his Endless Hunger and he's like, I'm ready to play the game. Anyone alive?
Yeah, the Endless Hunger did kind of live up to its name. He looked like he was pretty hungry to be able to do anything at all in that game. Wasn't quite able to, as right now it's looking to be very similar, as these health bars are dire on the side of D+. The Mbessa rotating around, looking pretty far away from being able to help out this bottom lane. And so
Lucid-
Smash is doing his best to survive.
Okay.
Oh, Ona will be moving up here. Level 4s for both. Void Spike
Tricky.
connects.
Aha.
Showmaker.
Yeah, and that is just going to be Ona stealing away the crab. As Undertow, not going to quite connect, as Doran is able to just slice his way out of there.
It could have been a little bit more interesting there in the mid lane, but nothing comes of it except the crab secure, as you mentioned.
Ooh, fun thing is that the Olaf gets to take Ghost. That's a bit of something.
That's
Make it just
somewhat
throws out a
fun.
charm.
Pretty good for Olaf to be able to close the gap on people when he has his slows coming through. But at the same time, we'll miss the shield quite significantly later on.
Yeah, I'd say so. As Faker clears out that wave pretty comfortably. And things all
Lässt sich Olaf in Lulu damit? Nein.
the stack deck, which will allow Faker to just make
Nein.
more money. As we can see, is happening.
There's been a few games where... Okay, hold up. Showmaker, does he get charm?
Yeah, does. Tries to find it, doesn't quite pick the juke. Faker still takes a lot of Foxfire damage though, and is getting zoned away from the wave a little bit.
We've had
Plus 6 Gold.
basically 3 games where the bottom lane was won pretty significantly. In the first game, Pays and Keria stemmed the bleeding really well. In the second game, Career tried to make some stuff happen with his hooks, didn't work out. In this game, we're starting to see Smash and Career get through the toughest parts of this. We'll stabilize a little bit here, nice bubble.
That was a very nice bubble. At least something connecting there as Lucid rotating around Faker with full information as to where the enemy jungler is, but Ona does have now an isolated target to dive on top of.
Yeah, he likes someone there alone.
Yeah. Lucid doesn't seem too worried about it though, as remember, Spirit Rush not quite there, so Showmaker cannot get over that wall unless he has a flash. Lucid not able to press
Gut.
that smite button before Ona does. Taste their fear plus smite is a lot of damage.
Kann man auf Top nicht auch Ignite mit Ghost nehmen?
On the Cosmos as well, we'll start to build up some money. He's got a serrated Dirk.
Ja. Ich weiß nicht, ob du dann so oft lebst. Pre-6. Also du bist einmal tot, mindestens Pre-6. Also garantierter Tod.
Lucid can kind of just go in and see what he can find and then there's no way for Owner to really follow up. If he gets that burst damage, he just walks away for now. So I like the idea of kind of fishing for that type of play. The bottom side of the map, control regained for a moment for Smash and Career. They'll get their synced back, whereas it's a split back here. Rip.
Yep. A little bit sad there. -1's in chat. As Doran looking to try and stop some backs, but looks like he is just going to go back to clearing out this wave.
He has TP, and Shiu does not, so if he can mess up some of these back timings, keep the wave right here. It's very annoying for Shiu.
Yep.
And he's just going to have to run back as fast as possible. And, well, not ghost back. It's not that desperate, but still pretty good position here for Doran to even up the CS and keep himself in a safe spot. As now we're going to put the attention on this Dragon here, bottom side. And it's going to be a pretty big fight, potentially, for this first Dragon. Faker does have his ultimate to join at a moment's notice.
One thing I do want to see is DK actually up the amount of pressure that they have in the early stage of the game. Actually fight for the first Drake or two.
Oh, zweite Krabby.
It's been giving them up, and I feel like it's given away so much of their tempo in this series, as Lucid will be able to at least get a crab, so that's going to help give him a little bit of extra control around that area.
There's a lot
Drake, though, is very tanky.
Yeah, there's a lot of burst damage on both sides as Doran.
Yeah, there's the gate, as we're going to need to throw out the Ragnarok. Let's see whether this kill can actually come through. The undertow, not enough, and first,
GG.
Doran with the help of Faker.
And there's just no quick response here from D+. Like, they have an Ahri that's just going to...
Diese Kampf 5:30, das ist eine verdammt gute Frage, warum sie es nicht gemacht haben. Ich könnte es nicht sagen.
Obviously, the Ahri can't follow
Reicht.
him, so just going to get a little bit of plate gold on the other side of things here for Showmaker, and it's just not equivalent. Remember, Shiu, again, does not have teleport.
This, I mean, it's a cannon
wave, but like it's minus the cannon.
Yeah, it is. It's looking real dire. And this was a lane that DK were winning.
And it's pretty set up here. Like, I think it's hard because the wave was set up really well by Doran. Like, what do you do as Shiu when you see Doran's like, got his Fury ready for an empowered W, and Faker's missing?
Well, in the meantime, Red White Gun's here for Pays, and Smash is going to have to try and cull him down.
Wow.
There's the bubble that connects, but it's just...
GG, hallo Xevo.
Moonlight Vigil. And Pays is on the board. Showmaker can try and take him off that board, though, as point blank, the charm will connect, and down will go the Aphelios, so... Bit of extra movement speed for the Ahri, but Carrier will...
4 Stunden Mine.
That's a big win for D+, so they get that back. If they had just lost...
Mehr Zeit für euch beim Moor einzukaufen oder bei Prep bei mir.
A disaster for them. Still
Wussten, ihr wussten.
But at least there's a consolation prize there.
Freudig, ihr wussten.
We'll close that gold gap a little bit in the mid lane. A very fiery early start to this game suddenly, with Faker making that play top side. Shiu gets caught, waves in an awkward spot. Can't get the kill.
Haben wir ein Duo? Nope. Das sehe ich
Make
nicht.
the all-in level 6 advantage. It's played brilliantly by Pays. Gets the kill.
Schon mit mehr safe, oder?
Before the bubble goes down. Secures the kill there. They almost get Career as well. As I watch this from his perspective, he hits level 6. Goes in for it.
Oh, meanwhile, there's more stuff happening in live, but flashes after last hits with the ulti. And in live, we're just going to be backing away.
Yeah, in live, looking like Red White still set up here for Pays with no ult and no Psalms. He has to be very careful.
Doesn't have a lot of Severum left, but I think he'll be okay with that. As Ona will be able to help clear out some vision. First Drake still hasn't gone down. As Lucid looking to dash around this fight. Ona gets a lot of damage taken, and the ulti follows him. Smashed to the ground by Lucid.
Komplett verprügelt. Jesus.
Number 2 in the early game.
Damn.
They might be able to turn that into a dragon.
That was a bit greedy there from the side of T1, especially from Owner. He just says, all right, well, wait for my opportunity. Pays doesn't have that Severum anymore. He's going to try to push them out of this bottom lane so they cannot get the dragon for free, but Lucid is already well and truly working on it here. Faker with ult at the ready. This is going to get potentially a little messy around dragon.
Yeah, and it looks like Lucid has actually backed away. So we mentioned it before, the Dragon's pretty tanky when it's the mountain variety, and Lucid unable to get through it, as Showmaker will get stunned and does not connect the charm. So a little bit unfortunate for him.
And that's just a Kha'Zix now on the Dragon, and it's still tanky, but they regain control of the bottom lane, and Owner's going to press Q, and that Dragon health bar is going to go down.
Yeah,
and
it's on a fresh back as well. Like, he comes back with more items, isolates the Dragon.
War ziemlich, war halt Ego von Owner.
Going over to T1.
It's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back here for D+, and Faker has so much control over this mid lane now. Top side obviously massively favoring Doran at this stage. Going back to this setup here, Owner gets a lot of damage done initially, but they cannot follow the play. And all it takes is a
Blaue Karte macht am meisten Damage, weil sie das höchste AP-Scaling hat. Und gibt Mana zurück, ja.
Smash was ready for more.
Yeah, that was beautifully played by Lucid. Unfortunately, it was the map movement afterwards that left a little to be desired. Unable to actually finalize that dragon. It's still a 1,000 gold lead here for T1, even with the kills being pretty even. So hoping to see a better a better mid game out of DK, hoping to actually translate some of the advantage that Lucid has built here in the jungle to something more, and allow Xiu to just run at Pays and kill him in some of these fights. Can those stat checks actually come through, and can he even pass them? As Pays does just walk away from Smash.
Das ist hier für Moospeed. Interessant.
Find too much. Malignant's done here for Showmaker. That's first item.
Eagle Space bei T1, war schon gut.
Is going to start these grubs
Ist schon gut.
And Showmaker's on the back. Should it be a relatively safe grub take here with Lucid on the other side of the map?
One day, Lucid's going to help actually secure a neutral objective.
One day, maybe in the LCK season.
Yeah. He did manage to steal away a dragon, but that was the third one. I'm talking more about in this early stage of the game.
Yeah, he
Set him up
has.
with a little
Die Erwartungen.
Unfortunately,
Wie erwartet für mich, denke ich.
these calls quickly has been so good. It's been the shot.
Ich denke, wie erwartet.
Has been what they've been known for forever, as Doran is going to look to stop it back and maybe look for more.
Yeah, as Ragnarok actually going to be used.
CF ulti.
See whether Doran actually wins out on this fight, as into the brush he goes. There's the flash to follow. Will he have it? No, he does not.
GG.
Doran just ends the Viking, and down he falls once again.
And Showmaker also may be in trouble.
Yeah, looking for an angle himself.
GG.
The charm is going to miss. Good footwork there from
Doppel
Fake to
GG.
make sure that he survives.
Actually,
Es ist fucking over.
there in the brush. It's Owner on the bottom side, and he is going to continue to allow his team to put pressure down in this bottom lane.
Na gut, dann halt heute 1000 LP, ne? Aha. Lol.
Atlas, I was hoping for a game here, and it's still possibly going to be a game. Smash wants it to be a game.
Yeah, he's going to cull. Pays takes a bit of damage here, but it's just not really looking like they can follow up too much. And there is Owner in the vicinity as well. DK needs to be careful. Owner really playing this one patiently.
It's crazy how it seems like how little credit Doran will get for this series, but he's had an amazing one as, oh boy.
Yeah, there is the Destiny. And Smash is going
Oh Lord have mercy.
does make
Der
himself,
Unbreak first.
does get himself out of there. Lucid over here as well. They have full information as to the
Ist der To-Go-Bild momentan.
for DK is Faker. With that gold card, will connect it on to Lucid, but he does dash his way out of there.
Smash ended up avoiding a lot of the damage there, so it's not like they can just get the free win afterwards. Smash, it's not like Smash lived with like 10% health. You can't join the fight. They have to be careful. In fact, they're going to try to push for more here. I like this call from D+.
They don't have a lot of summoners left on this Lucian, and Pays does have both of his still available, so they do need to be a little careful of that.
Hat mal wieder erfolgreich Influence.
On a good angle here, and he has flash. They could
Woo!
make this work.
Let's see whether it does
Supi.
work out as the bubble is going to connect that.
Oh, Carrier Flash vor.
It's fantastic.
Carrier ist vor.
Will be able to take
War eigentlich ziemlich insane. Also der ist vor Pace geflasht, damit er quasi die am besser Ulti tankt.
is not enough. The ambassador
Ja, halt geht gut.
Owner just finds the angle, and he's looking to taste even more fear as Lucid dashes, and the smite comes down to make sure that it's Pays.
Das war ein ziemlich guter Flash von Carrier. Ziemlich guter Flash.
Was Lucid smite there at the end. Pays gets the kill. So the ult on the ambassador is
Weil Palan später Spannung bekommst, aber das funktioniert nicht so.
was able to sidestep his way out. Actually
Das
insane.
ist nicht so Sponsoring, das ist halt so Branding-Deal dann, ja.
But here,
Sowas, aber das ist so unrealistisch, das wird niemals passieren.
I want to watch
So
this
it hits
again.
Carrier.
Yeah, it hits Carrier, right?
Yeah. Because Carrier flashed into it.
Yeah, that's
What
crazy.
an absolute...
That's such
Game Pace ist perfekt? Ja.
I
Ist schon gut.
even almost quantify
Gibt's
the
News von der Couch? Nope.
I mean, Lucid had the bubble set up, and then Owner here gets on top of Smash. And then what are you going to do?
Yes, Smash is like, I'm playing some... Oh, no, never mind.
Tries to smite Owner to buy some space.
Yeah, so...
Still goes over
Like,
the
if
base.
there was a...
Hat auch eine Transportteam bestellt.
actually passed, then
Auch da dann gerne immer Feedback, wenn ihr sowas kauft.
Unfortunately, once again, Lucid unable
Immer Feedback
to
geben.
quite have enough time to be out of combat.
And that was almost such a good punish, right? It was almost such a good punish.
I mean, the gold lead is less than it was, so it's now closer in the game. So that's good. The Drake has just spawned. It's a Hextech Dragon, so the souls you know, could be a little dicey.
Showmaker has, you know, not been able to Destiny around the map, so he's got some extra money in his pockets. He has the most gold in the game. Maybe he can carry on this Ahri. I mean, that's another win con here is, I don't know about tough time with this Renekton, especially when he gets his...
Complete winning. Ja, das Game hier ist over. Also, realistisch, das Game hier ist over. Ich sehe nicht, dass dieser 0-2 Olaf noch einen großen Impact haben wird.
Nope.
I don't see it.
He probably minds the 4 people that were bearing down upon him.
This might just be a free dragon here. TP.
Yeah, Showmaker does have his teleport available as well, as they do steal away the dragon.
Okay.
So that's straight number 2 going over to D+.
Okay, warte mal. Dorian auch noch tot.
Great wild growth to keep Doran alive.
Dorian nicht. Ah, okay.
Smash! He'll finally
Okay.
go down, but the damage is being done as Lucid off on the back.
Okay.
Flow is fantastic from that undertow to make sure the disengage comes through, and it's actually D+ that come out ahead.
They do come out ahead.
I mean, for now.
It looks pretty scary. It still looks scary here.
Yeah, Lucid, wild cards connecting there as he's looking to try and dash
Balance
his way
Typ
up.
Spacing komplett. Also wird.
Just yet, as the wild cards are not going to quite land, and nicely done there from Lucid.
Das war gut für DK. Das war gut für DK.
Bottom side.
Das war gut für DK. Aber Goldtechnisch immer noch nicht gut.
Yeah, ignore the rubble around the map. It's otherwise okay for D+.
Minimap here, it looks like Faker just was not able to set up a gold card to stop this TP, so he TPs in way later, which is the main problem here. The charm is phenomenal, but the Wild Growth buys space here. Doran gets the empowered Q, takes Smash out of the fight, so they chase deeper here. Unfortunately, the rest of the members are unable to join, and Lucid is able to have a great ult there to escape, as well as help peel.
That one axe, man, that one undertow was such high value.
Yeah.
Oh wow, they could have really lost all.
Also LCK ist nächste Woche auch Samstag und Sonntag. Und das bedeutet, wir haben von Dienstag bis Freitag nur LPL. Ist der Plan. Am Dienstag oder Mittwoch 2 Best of Fives am Stück. Zwei Best of Fives am Stück und dann ab Donnerstag, glaube ich, ein Best of Five am Tag. Müsste so sein. Ich glaube, es sind 2 Tage mit 2. Und danach jeweils ein Best of Five.
He's certainly not. And, you know, still in
und Samstag und Sonntag und PL, nee, LPL. Und dann Samstag, Sonntag ist, glaube ich, Lower Bracket Runde 1 in der LPL. Also kann ich die easy skippen für LCK Finals. Gibt's eine Welt, wo anyone sollte gegen Team? Nein. Gibt's nicht.
I like it for follow-up on
F4 Spot Collector, ja.
Just because of the game state, but I agree with you in terms of what Lucian does overall.
Oh no, looking for an angle onto Lucid. Doran trying to get over here as well. The dashes do come on out as Korea will be able to save his jungler for now.
It's a lot of first strike cold over to Owner.
Yes.
This Ambessa is really just not very tanky into these lethality items here that Owner has put together. Lethality junglers are so gold efficient. When you have first strike as well, you're just flying through the item buys, and it feels like you're cheating.
And also you get to buy Umbral Glaive as well, which is such a ridiculous item on so junglers, just because you get to clear out so much enemy vision.
And it used to be even better.
Yeah.
It's very strong. As Owner's actually going to enjoy this mountain or Infernal Soul.
Yeah, still we're fighting once again as Owner is just
to
look to try and
Jesus Christ.
Viking. He does almost die for his trouble.
Hydra. Oh, er geht nicht Best Breaker.
Smashing a lot of trouble.
FF.
There's the ulti out. Good tidal wave does come on in. As a rip
shots for ulti.
A little bit antsy there as well.
Yeah.
From Lucid goes wide. Good sight from Pays. As Doran is just having the best time on this Crocodile.
We talked about, or I briefly mentioned, let's say, Renekton seems to be the biggest benefactor of role quests in terms of the top lane in the meta, right? I'm not saying that, like, you know, Camille could be worse than Renekton if she is in a similar game state, but of meta top laners, he just gets so huge, and he's getting even larger here now in this game, taking this whole turret down. Yeah. He is a full level, and almost a level and a half ahead of Shiu in this game, and can just run on top of either carry, press W, and say, cool story for you in this team fight. And he's kind of been doing that to Shiu in the side lanes. He's like, oh, I have my empowered W, I will press it on you, and you will leave, or someone else will show up, and you will die. And this is not a happy ending for D+ if they cannot find an answer to this, as we're moving into the first Infernal Drake here in about a minute's time. A lot of map control to T1. That mid turret going down is pretty nice here for D+, but they need to hold on to their own. Still 2 plates remaining on it. So we'll see what Pays is able to pick up here. Does complete the collector with this timing. Pretty huge for him to come into this next team fight.
I'm really scared.
Was passiert bei Navi, Gynix und Casey gegen Team Vitality? Ich kann sehen, dass Gynix gegen Navi gewinnt. Und Casey gegen Team Vitality gewinnt Casey. Da bin ich mir einig. Da bin ich mir ziemlich sicher. Ja, also da bin ich mir eigentlich ziemlich sicher.
Because otherwise, she was just going to be a paperweight. We mentioned he's a stat check champion. Well, if you don't check their stats, and in fact, if you don't check the stats, then maybe you feel better about it because you haven't checked. But you're going to get checked every time. I just don't think the Olaf is going to really do too much of anything, and that's why I kind of thought the Jax felt like a better choice. Smash even if you're 0-3, you still have a counter-strike.
Smash has no flash. Doran has flash. That's
I guess Fnatic gewonnen, safe, oder?
Well, Doran does have a lot of money on the table for D+ if they kill him, so I guess there's that.
T1 are just keeping Smash away with Renekton alone as they look to force this dragon.
Yeah, Showmaker moving forward here as well.
Wieder Drake.
From Lucid, nicely done
Not bad.
Oh, no,
hey, not bad.
Find the angle. Shu teleports in real late.
This is pretty good for D+. Let's see if they can also get this charge.
Well, all of T1 around that corner, and Lucid gets himself out of there. The
Wartet mal. Oh mein Gott, One-Shot. Horse, Olaf. Nee. Meines ja nächstes Dann von Doran. Geiles Cleanse, Mann. Boom. Oder nichts passiert. Niemand stirbt. Niemand stirbt hier. Wow. Aber auf dem Pinkboard, right? Pinkboard gesehen.
Successful heist, I suppose you could say here for D+.
Dass da keiner stirbt, ist krank.
The Ambassador nor anyone else on the Herald attempt. It doesn't hit the turret either, but that's for the better. Unfortunately, it may lose their mid turret though after they all had to retreat. So much damage is pushed down here, but they will group up now and clear this wave. So they keep that mid turret alive. They grab their second dragon of the game. It buys them some time and it's some extra stats here for this Lucian, so it feels really good for them. It's not enough to make you feel like they've gotten a foothold in this game, but it is hanging on that I think is what we didn't necessarily think we would be saying about them in the rest of this game and the series, as it's again a great secure here from Lucid. And then T1 decide to, the old Faker, not hide on bush per se, but hide on corner where there's no vision. And they try to go in here and make this plays in live. By the way, Showmaker may just die to Kha'Zix.
He might, or he might.
He gets away.
Yeah, dash away. Smash, that was a flash in trade.
I think Smash actually, his culling is.
Dass das hier nur für 0 ist, bin ich verrückt. Insanes Cleanse von Smash, of course.
But it doesn't really do enough. Pays is at full health. His ultimate is super high value, and it's just hightailing it out is the best that D+ can hope for.
Yeah, Ona not quite able to get to any of these resets and things like that, although he did evolve W second, which is not the...
Left and second bei am besten also Smart.
Yeah, the Void
Ich
Spike.
glaube, es fängt fertig jetzt.
Not to be confused with Vorpal Spikes, which is Cho'Gath's toggleable ability. So there's that. So it's way more fun to evolve E, right? You just get to reset, leap around the fight.
It is more fun, you know, if you are
and then you get to queue mid-air and stuff, and you like get to do all of those really cool highlight plays and things.
If you remember that movie with the redheaded girl Annie, one of her catchphrases was "leaping lizards." So if you like to say that while you're jumping around, stomping on everybody.
I think that's what Owner has been saying every time he's been leaping.
Das heißt, die haben Damage genug und sobald Rapid Fire fertig ist, wird das nochmal deutlich unangenehmer für DK.
Crocodile in the game, it feels like a bit of a leaping lizard, you know?
Yeah,
he's getting in there, he's getting into the back line, he's doing a lot of damage. As he's 2,000 gold up, and she was still just not quite passing that stat check.
Yeah, it does now have his Hex Plate, so he can get that ulti back up again, but you can see Doran just looking to break Shiu's stride, and Shiu's saying, ain't nobody gonna break my stride, and then he's gonna try and break Doran's stride.
Yes,
and
something like that.
The same thing will happen and it rotates.
Lucid is gonna try to find an angle here, but they're already out. But I do applaud D+'s ability to group and put damage on these mid turrets. Like they got their early mid turret, they got some plate damage on the inner.
All right, Ona dives on in, Cullen comes out. Pays takes a bit of damage, but otherwise not too much more. Good bubble, as Faker is going to get McHale's, I believe, or he just...
Kann hier auf Aphelios, LDR Spike zu hart, der Champion Spike zu hart mit dem Immersive Spike. Wegen Inbuild Difficulty.
Dancing around the fight, Doran taking a little bit, but we know that he does have Wild Growth and Dominus. So and this has a lot of HP to call on.
This is all set up by D+, just sending it down mid, which didn't end up getting them a win in terms of getting the turret, but it gets them this blue buff. They pulled the Renekton out of sides. They are pulling T1 around the map a little bit, and I think This is the best you could really hope for, and they're coordinating it well. And there's always that threat of Lucid getting access to the backline and getting on top of Pays that they have to respect. And T1 playing respectfully as a result, though, will lose a little bit of map control here. Yep. Again, the gold lead is still there. You know, this Renekton is most of it. The Kha'Zix's also a big threat and has built up a ton of first.
So one-sided ist es gar nicht, ne? Also Lucid ist super strong, auch wenn er 1000 Gold behind ist.
D+ maybe if they can pull T1 around the map one way and get one team fight, just one win, Smash gets 2 kills.
Wenn Smash AI hat.
They're in the game. That's all it takes.
I do think this next dragon is going to be really important because if DK can get themselves sold,
Und 2 Drakes, ja.
then you get so much inherent tempo. You feel so much better about the situation. What could happen instead is Showmaker could get ganked here on this top side of the map, and then T1 just wanders on down to the Drake themselves. Or Lucid face checks this brush. I'm a little bit scared about the amount of ways that I can see this going wrong, as he does spot Lucid moving into his jungle.
Showmaker playing respectfully. Here's the Destiny.
Yeah. Owner.
Boah, gut gelesen. Wow, geil von Lucid gelesen mit dem E. Schade. Schade, ey. Hätte er das getroffen? War ein geiler Read. Und She was Level 16. Auf Olaf auch strong inzwischen. Somewhat strong.
Grab rapid fire cannon, but She will trade this for a turret on the bottom side. Any alone time he can get away from Doran, I think he's very happy with right now in this game.
Oh yeah.
Finally hits level 16 and has evened up the experience.
Pretty ridiculous that he is 30 CS ahead, even though he's still 1,000 gold behind. This 0-3 Olaf is not, you know, it's not the worst.
I am starting to feel like T1 are going to have to make a really aggressive call. I thought that what they were trying to do, because they had red-white with Paige, was bait D+ into this extended skirmish where they could win the fight and grab Baron, but D+ just didn't fall for it. They grouped, but they didn't overextend. Lucid was hanging out on the edge going...
Ich würde schon sagen, dass der Olaf jetzt immer drauflaufen kann. Frage ist nur, was passiert, wenn der Aphelios gut flasht und dann auf ihn draufdrückt. 3 Items ist fertig bei Aphelios.
So D+ are playing a good macro game here. They've turned this into a lot in terms of what they have picked up. These 3 dragons, the stats alone are worth so much. If they get Soul, that 3,000 gold lead will not feel like an advantage at all here really for T1. So
aber was warten die? Rapid Fire ist fertig, das Game, also...
I'm starting to see it appear on the hands, Wolf. You're right.
Ich würde sagen, es ist Playable für DK. AI fertig jetzt. 3 ist bei Ari fertig. Ich würde sagen, es ist Playable. Heißt wahrscheinlich T1 bald mit einem Nash Force, oder? Realistisch. Mal sehen.
And T1 trying to set up that same type of fight here with Doran having TP in the bottom lane.
Weiß-Rot gegen Olaf. Ja, ich weiß nur nicht, ob er auf Weiß-Rot ist ein Teamfight. Ich glaube, so wie er es spielt mit Grün-Blau, ergibt es schon sehr viel Sinn. Es ergibt schon sehr viel Sinn gegen die Gegner-Comp.
They played through mid lane to pull T1 around the map incredibly well. Showmaker is also, you know, still quite a big threat in this game. Has the 3 items, has his dash cannon.
Yeah, the Shadow Flame was just completed as well, so decent little spike to be hit, especially against the champions that don't have as much magic resist. Faker does have the upgraded Merc Treads though, so he's feeling relatively comfortable.
They have Mikhail's for Pace who doesn't have Cleanse, but you know, you've got to be very careful about getting caught by this Ahri. Follow-up damage from Smash. You can't cleanse his big burst. He has IE, so I really do think this game is on a knife's edge. One mistake would determine everything.
Oh, das ist oh mein Gott.
A lot of damage in return. And Smash.
Junge.
Away still. That is a bigger investment than Faker's Q.
And with
not going to be too.
Zum Beispiel Jungle oder Top, well, Jungle hat First Strike, Jungle hat First Strike, Cashback, Triple Tonic.
Just have a lot of map control. They have Showmaker on this flank.
Top hat Plates bekommen.
God, this turret
3 Kills.
Well, there's a teleport.
TP behind. Kein Cleanse, aber wir haben noch Mikhails bei. Mikhails noch ab bei Career. Ja. Yep. Mit des TF, ja. TF Passive hat wahrscheinlich so 2000 Gold gemacht inzwischen. Ja, das ist eine Lüge. 1500.
And then they will back away, but T1 are like, wait, but we're here, guys. We should probably do the Baron.
Ja, Nash ist smart.
And I think he's gonna have to use it.
Yep, Showmaker looks for the Orbit Deception as now Smash gets
Problem ist, Doran hat wirklich 50-50.
Very scary as Lucid. Can you do it again? That's the question. The answer's absolutely
guter Start.
Even able to get into the pit. As now T1, can you escape? As Doran gets in.
Was macht Shivu? Rennt auf Pace.
Time to shine. Goes in, immediately goes out. As now Pace gets on forward. That's the public exit.
Schön gespielt. Aphelios ist Thanos.
around. Smash now looking for an angle himself as over the wall he goes. But it looks like
She wollte kein TP, die müssen basen.
They are walking the wrong direction. Trying to keep their Baron alive as Lucid.
Versuchen Pace rauszubekommen. Oh, er ist tot.
By the looks of things,
Er ist tot, er ist tot. Death Sense, er ist tot, ja.
There is the Dominus, but the bubble is going to be good. And
Okay.
finds the angle to shut down T1.
It's a bit of a disaster here for T1. They got
Okay.
kills at least, or they got the kill there on the end. It's a lot of kills for D+, despite losing the Baron. And
Alles ist Game?
so much gold injected.
Nee, ist nicht Game. Ist nicht Game, ne?
Did take the Baron off the map, defending this turret here and sidelines those.
Ist gut für Soul, okay. Also, direkt gesehen, ja. Problem ist, da sind eine Menge Flashes down. Alright. Da sind eine Menge Flashes down jetzt. Da sind eine Menge Flashes down. Bei DK. Als One Flash raus, ja, aber auch bei DK. Mal schauen.
And now we're just trying to set up recalls here staggered, right? And then Doran goes in here. They think they have enough damage onto Lucid. Paze does. They get the kill here. But with the wraparound now, she was back. They all get routed. Only Owner will escape on the Kazakhs for this Baron. So it'll be a negative power play here for the moment. As D+.
No Owner und Showmaker am Flash.
Going straight back to mid lane, and they're pulling T1 around the map. T1's composition struggling to find value grouped, where they've been spending so much of this game putting Doran in the side lane, but he's no longer, like I said before, just straight up winning it.
Is this... Don't tell me that's a 4th item collector something. What's that serrated Dirk turning into? Oh, and
Serpent
this
Fang.
is going to be a Serpent Fang. Serpent Fang would be kind of sick.
It's actually pretty solid here.
I would really like that. That would be one that would make me feel okay. As the Drake has now spawned, Showmaker
Smash glänzt gleich wieder ab.
trying to look for a
Weil jetzt ist Soul einfach weg.
as the culling really softening. The
Oh.
charm connects onto Pace somehow. He goes down exceptionally low. They
Soul
keep
weg.
wild growth out of Carrier and the heal. My God, that was absurd from Showmaker. He does not want to go home today. And
Wow.
he's now looking for even more. Dash Cannon
Wow.
and the Spirit Rush. And all the while, Lucid is getting an Infernal Soul. And what did we say about Olaf? He stat checks you.
Yeah.
Do you know what you get from an Infernal Soul?
A lot of stacks.
Yeah, you get some stats, baby. So maybe Shiyu can actually find some relevance in this game.
I mean, he's started to be quite relevant.
He almost has a lead, actually.
Okay.
He is, with the CS he's picked up, obviously that's really takes a lot
Ari will gewinnen.
from Dorm. He's been given some additional time, and you know, when you're running the Twisted Fate can't really just walk at the Olaf and do anything. So the lane assignment is always kind of a trap here for T1, as there's no Baron. You know, T1's grouped around Baron. That's always a scary thing.
Hey, if you want to kill a crab, take 2 of your friends with you, okay? That's the way to do it.
This could be a big backfire as well if T1 overcommit trying to kill Showmaker, because the rest of D+ is rotating up. Now, we have been here before.
Yeah.
For those who, and it was T1 with a much smaller, like they had a massive deficit, in fact, but it was a...
Also ist sehr useless hier, oder? War noch nicht so wirklich sein Ding gefunden.
Where their backs against the wall. He survived really late. KT could not end the game.
Yeah, this game they actually still have a lead.
They still have a lead, but D+ have a lot of win cons here that are starting to come online, as Owner does not want to interact, I think.
No, he's not looking to mess with this guy, as there is still a turret there.
He might have wanted to interact with the turret, but he decides not to.
No, not this time.
Aber mit Rockabell jetzt Meta? Ja, ich weiß noch nicht. I mean, ist halt ein super gold-effizientes Item.
Kazakhs.
T1 just don't have the ability to kill this Ahri and sides to pinch when D+ play this far up and have this much control over the map. Like, this comp really requires you to be able to 1-3-1 and pinch people with this Twisted Fate, but when D+ have this much oppressive control, if you try to go in as Faker, they'll just turn on you and kill you. As Doran is pushing a big wave bottom side, they're going to go for a TP flank.
All right, well, that's an idea that you can go for here, as Ragnarok comes on through. And so that is a big cooldown, although there is a Hexblade, so I guess she should have that. Oh, Crocodile coming out of the reeds. I know about that one. That one's dangerous. They really warn you.
Ja, AI ist fertig auf dem Ferias. Mal schauen.
They get the turret. They finally get that mid turret.
Where is this? Where is this Crocodile? It is lurking. Over he goes. Finds Lucid, but he gets Mikhail.
Mikhail's raus.
They cannot actually get on top of D+.
They got the turret. That's all they're going to get, it looks like here. And I mean, there's a big wave pushing in the bottom lane, but it's not enough to threaten the base or anything like that. But for the first time in a while, T1 can breathe on the map.
Hey, Korea, you were standing on top of
Er ist alleine, ne?
my guy.
It's okay, hits these bubbles.
Yeah, tidal wave comes on through as well. He does
Hits
get
those
himself
tidal
out of
waves.
there. He's still dead though, Wolf.
It's okay, he has heal and flash.
Da kommt eine Ari. Oh mein Gott, er lebt.
Used his ultimate. That's okay.
Okay.
Right? Never mind, Korea. I just didn't know your game.
He had bubbles, he had heal, he had a mid laner.
I should have known all about bubbles. It's exactly the stage my son's up to right now.
Yeah.
Bubbles all over the place. I need to call the bubble police for him all the time. There's bubbles everywhere.
20 seconds till this Baron spawns. And with T1 committing pretty heavily there to try to kill Career and then having to reset, map control kind of going back a little bit to D+. They're going to be able to maintain vision and prio on that Baron on spawn. Plus the Infernal Soul stats are pretty huge. There's a lot of damage.
Well. Dieser Aphelios is strong, der Lucian aber auch.
These pinches happen the way they want to. Red and White is set here for Pays. This is going to have to be a hell of a team fight, though, if T1 is going to win this 3-0.
All right.
Ja, ich sehe es noch nicht so ganz.
Let's see whether they can keep them out of their own jungle. That's what they're trying to do. I'm just still so frightened. I mean, it's Pays playing Aphelios. Are you ever allowed to win a game against Pays as Aphelios? Because you have to enter the enemy base area, and then often you just die. It's all right. Destiny to come on forward here from Faker as Shiu is not
Wieder Ulti-Force.
the target
Nee.
that you want to go for.
Gut von Shivos zu halten.
Does get healed up by Korea's ebb and flow and doesn't actually have to press Ragnarok. That is the big deal as Smash goes in and immediately
Jesus Christ.
Faker now looking for an angle as Lucid.
Ja, jetzt ist halt wieder Nasty, ne?
So well, Owner constantly
Jetzt ist Nasty. Jetzt kommen nämlich die Rapid Fire Procs. Und die werden jetzt gleich Force bekommen damit. Schauen die für Culling oder was?
Wanting to make sure that they have everything ready for an all-in, and now could be the angle
Ja.
as Smash
Schauen
does
Sie.
get a lot of culling value. Look at that.
D+ should probably just go straight to Baron here and look for a turnaround as Owner.
Yeah, Owner just gets
Jesus.
tagged by Smash. One double tap is half of his health bar. And
Jesus.
There's a great window.
Just to head to the Baron.
Yeah, they absolutely should. They should go over here and start this one up
Gone.
right away. They're going to be able to do this very quickly, and there's just no answer.
Wir halten die Position, ich weiß noch nicht.
No one inside. T1 just have to clean up these waves, and D+ have such an insane control over this game now. They will actually take a gold lead for the first time in forever as well after this Baron. You have to imagine T1 just sitting back and clearing waves. Pays is level 16, and yes, this does feel very reminiscent to the KT game.
Level 20 Olaf is in this game.
Yeah.
And honestly, from the early game,
With Ghost, by the way.
I was expecting him not to quite make it this far, but he absolutely did. He's also got a Randuin's now completed, so Pays is a little bit less scary. He's still very scary, but the Olaf might actually be able to get there
Isn't it crazy
and be a problem.
How much of an
Olaf
impact
ist actually OP jetzt, oder nicht? Randuin ist fertig.
in this
Oh,
game?
it's night and day. It's insane.
If they don't have Infernal Soul, this game feels so different. And now as T1, you're
Olaf ist jetzt for real, sie ist OP.
50 on other. We have no map control. They have Baron, and we got to defend our base. T1's like, maybe we're...
Und kein Zrillas bei Owner, der ist so useless.
Well, we'll see whether that is going to be the trade, as right now Smash is just kind of hitting the turret. There's 5 seconds until the Elder is up and available, and it looks like a back is going to get channeled here by T1, and this is DK calling their bluff and being rewarded for it. So many times, it's T1 holding all the cards in these scenarios. This time, DK actually able to make the right macro call.
D+ having a great macro game here through the mid lane the entire way
Die
through.
müssen mit TF-Ulti arbeiten, aber ich weiß nicht, ob...
T1 honest on the map, and now
Nein, nicht.
all the cards are in their hands. Owner trying to flank, but they suss it out.
It's pretty funny because it's
yeah, the
like
Twisted Fate.
Twisted Fate. He's got all the cards. Do you think all of his decks are Riftbound decks now?
Probably.
It might be actually a thing. Although, here we go. Out comes Owner. The decision is now she was on the side.
Da ist Samson Ulti, aber die müssen die Ulti mindestens mal forcen.
Faker is able to sidestep
Oh, er ist tot.
and they're looking to try and turn. Remember, he
Oh mein Gott, der Pace reingeflasht.
got Pays.
GG.
What was that?
GG.
Just explode.
Er hat's gesehen. Ja, reasonable. Er hat's gesehen im Play.
Into this good night.
Fair enough.
They will go quite loudly, and now they're
Fair enough.
going to explode.
All right.
Gutes Comeback.
Pull it off. In the end, better macro. They push T1 into such an uncomfortable position. They have to make an all-in play. It doesn't work. Pays tries for the hero play.
Ja, respectable.
Splat.